Peter Espig, CEO of Nicola Mining, is back here in the studio for an update. Peter, let's start with talking about your share price. As we can see, it has had a strong run in 2025. Tell us about what's driving that momentum.
Yeah, Rachel, there's obviously two drivers to the increase in our share price and market capitalization. The first being macroeconomics. When I say macro, I mean, precious metal prices, both in silver, gold, and copper, which is a base metal. But we've certainly benefited from that. I think investors have become more and more aware of the producers, which we are. But I like to attribute a lot of our rise due to execution of milestones that we said that we were going to execute all the way from last year. I mean, last year in 2024, we said that we were going to go into production in 2025. We spent a lot of money at our mill doing upgrades. We're milling right now, not at full production, but we have a milling partnership that we're producing gold as we speak now. We're bringing Blue Lagoon production online. Our silver project has come to the investor forefront because obviously silver's had a great run, and we've announced our plans for 2026 exploration. And so there's a lot of catalysts as to what is driving our share price, and we're really excited, for next year as well.
Well, before we talk about, exploration updates on your copper project, New Craigmont and Treasure Mountain silver project, give us an update on your mill. Where are you on your production levels?
Sure, we started production in July, and it's a slow ramp up, and when you go into production, you don't start at 100%. And as of today, we're still not at 100%, but we're hoping with Blue Lagoon, when it comes online in November, that we'll get closer to that. Now, that said, Rachel, we've also applied for, we're in the process of applying for an amendment to triple our production. So as production comes online, we plan to increase our production as well. So, but as it is right now, we continue to increase our throughput. We continue to increase our gold production, and that will continue to increase through 2026.
Well, when it comes to your copper project, you have run an exploration program this year. What did you find, and where does that take you next?
Yeah, so this year's copper project was probably the most, I would say, impactful in the history of anything that Nicola's ever done exploration, and probably the most significant since 1961. Because remember, there was no, and it's almost hard to fathom that the highest grade copper mine, major copper mine in history in North America, has had zero exploration from 1961 through to 2016, which was when we started. And so, and we've had several really high grade holes, more than 100 meters of 1%. But this year we really wanted to focus or vector towards a porphyry system. So we had two main targets, and that being the Marquez and the Draken. And the Draken was interestingly found through new technologies, using, where people use the term AI, exploration. So we utilized AI exploration to find the target, and we're clearly in a porphyry system, and we're vectoring towards the center of that. So this was the most, certainly, if you're searching for a porphyry system, the most significant exploration, program that we've ever done at our company. Results pending, and then as we release the results, we'll also release where we are within a system, and are continuing vectoring towards a porphyry.
Mm-hmm. So at least for the near term right now, we're still waiting on actual results to see what next steps are.
Yeah. And, we get this feedback a lot because, gold, typical gold project, they can release gold or like drilling results much quicker, because if they're drilling 400 meters, they're really only assaying, 30 meters of when they're in the zone, because there's no reason to assay the host rock when it's a vein system. But when we're drilling 600 meters, we're assaying 600 meters because when you're within a system, there is mineralization throughout that. So the amount of assay that it takes us to, if we do a 3,000 meter program or a 5,000 meter program, we're assaying 70 to 75% of the entire program.
Now, if we talk and move on about Treasure Mountain, this is your silver project. The key point about this asset is that it does contain high-grade silver. I mean, especially given the fact that we're at where we are with the high price of silver, what should investors know in terms of what your plans are with this asset moving forward?
Yeah, so Treasure Mountain is kind of like the ace in the pocket, or the joker in your deck. Like it's something that the market is kind of forgotten about. We haven't within the company, and since 2013, we've continued to work at it, but it just didn't make sense to spend too much effort at a time when silver prices were below $25. So now the market, the retail market, the institutional market, and specifically strategic. So we've had several offers on Treasure Mountain over the past 6 to 12 months. And what I would say about this is that we know that we have a high-grade silver mine, and we know that the cost of production when we closed the mine was about $12.50 Canadian. Silver prices are obviously much higher. So that kind of bodes to reopening the mine. But the key point that really excites us is on the backside. So we go back to 2012, where Coeur invested $5 million at a $200 million valuation. This is pre-gold production. This is owning Craigmont Mine. At that time, we only owned 50%. They invested $5 million at a $200 million valuation specifically because of the interest on the backside, the exploration upside. So we did soil sampling over three to 5 years. We've done chipset. We've done a lot of work on the backside. This year we did mapping. We also have an electromagnetic survey. So we've put it all together this year. And in the mapping that we did this year, we found more veins. We can see the dip, and the dip kind of all moves towards an anomaly that makes a lot of sense. And what's interesting is that the silver mine itself does not seem to be the same mineralization event on the backside. And I say that because the silver mine is galena and sphalerite. So we've got a lead, zinc, silver, whereas the backside we have lead, zinc, silver, gold, copper, and very high grade coppers. And we're talking copper grades of 1 to 4%. We're talking gold grades of 0.2 grams to 2.6 grams. So there's something driving this. It's very exciting. And 2026 will be the first year that we're actually going to be drilling on the backside of the mountain and to see what's below.
All right. Well, you kind of covered my last question, which is, what we should be looking out for next year. But before we actually get there, before you might tell us anything new, you quickly mentioned Dominion Gold earlier on in our conversation. Talk to us about this project. What's happening here? What should investors take away?
Yeah, and this gets into the 2026 question, right, Rachel? So, what investors should be excited about. So, because I'll tell you, we're very excited. And this year, so the plan of 2025 was to do the road development, do the mine development at Dominion, and ship to Nicola about 2,000 tons for milling. And so as we were doing the mine development, to our surprise and pleasant surprise, is the vein, as we uncovered the vein, this is all at surface, it became bigger and longer than expected. So the timing for mine development, so we anticipated a vein that was 1 meter to 1.5 meters wide, when it turned out to be 1.5 meters to 2.5 meters wide. And in addition to that, we found 2 additional veins. So now we've got 3 veins that we're going to be targeting. So we spent the year doing mine development, And to the point now that rather than shipping, although we have a stockpile at site, the key here is that we did all the mine development so for next year, so that we're just going to go straight into mining our bulk samples. So that we're going to be doing a lot more extraction, a lot more trucking, a lot more milling next year. And, we're talking grades of 0.5 ounce to 1 ounce per ton. So we're pretty excited about the prospects of Dominion, for 2026 and beyond that. So the project has gotten much bigger than we initially anticipated.
All right. Always good to talk to you, Peter. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Peter Espig, CEO of Nicola Mining. You can find them on, you can find all the ticker symbols rather below here. But of course, go to CEO.CA and search NIM to see what investors are saying on their channel. Thanks for watching.